This story is by a girl Aarti, narrated by Aarti herself. One summer, Aarti was visiting us in our ancestral village in rural Rajasthan. The village was steeped in tradition and old wives' tale, and at dusk, the whispers of a female demon of the old banyan tree by the well were common. Most of the people would laugh them off during the day, but at night, the wind rustling through the ancient trees, leaves sent shivers down their spines. Aarti, being a city girl, was particularly dismissive of these stories. It's just an old tree, she would scoff, and those were just shadows. One evening, the electricity went off, as it often did in the village. The heat was stifling, and the air was thick with the scent of dust and distant cooking fires. Aarti's grandmother, ever the storyteller, began to narrate the tale of the demon woman. They say she began her voice as a low murmur in the flickering lamplight, that she was a young woman betrayed by her lover and left to die by the well. Her spirit, consumed by sorrow and rage, never left. She waits there, especially on moonless nights, for lonely travelers. She appears as a beautiful woman, sometimes crying, sometimes singing, luring men close before revealing her true, hideous form. Aarti rolled her eyes, but a nervous giggle escaped her. Granny, please, you'll scare yourself. Later, around midnight, the heat was still unbearable. I can't sleep, Aarti whispered, fanning herself with a magazine. I'm going to get some fresh air outside. No, grandmother replied, her voice unusually sharp. It's not safe, not tonight. But Aarti, with the stubbornness of youth, brushed her off, warning, I'll just sit on the porch. It's too hot in here. She slipped out, and a few minutes later, she heard a soft, melodious humming from the direction of the well. It was a haunting tune, beautiful yet filled with an indescribable sadness. Her grandmother's eyes widened in fear. Aarti, she whispered, a knot forming in her stomach. Is that you singing? There was no answer, only the continuous humming drawing closer, it seemed. Then grandmother's blood ran cold. The tune was clearly coming from outside their house, and it wasn't Aarti's voice. It was deeper, richer, almost ethereal. A chilling scream tore through the night, a high-pitched, agonizing sound that was unmistakably Aarti's. All the people scrambled to the door, Aarti's father grabbing a heavy stick. When he brushed outside, the humming had ceased, and the oppressive silence of the village pressed in onto them. Aarti was lying on the ground near the gate, unconscious. Her face was ashen, her eyes wide with terror even in sleep. There were no marks on her, no sign of physical harm, but her hair, which she had tied in a neat bun, was completely disheveled, as if someone had run their fingers widely through it and tangled within a few strands, glinting eagerly in the faint moonlight was a single withered rose petal. They carried her inside. She woke up hours later, screaming, drenched in sweat. She couldn't articulate what she had seen, only that a woman in white had stood by the banyan tree, her eyes dark pits of emptiness, and her voice had been the one humming. Then the woman had smiled, a slow, widening grin that revealed teeth too long, too sharp, and her face had begun to melt and distort. Aarti had fainted before she could see more. She left the village the very next morning, refusing to stay overnight. To this day, Aarti refuses to speak about what had happened. her eyes still holding that deep-seated fear. And every time the electricity goes out in the village and the wind whispers through the old banyan tree by the well, they remember the humming and the scream and the single withered rose petal. This was the story by Aarti. Till today, be it village or cities, such stories are always spoken about. I do believe in them because I have experienced certain personally. Let me know what all you think about it. We'll see you in the next story. Have a good night if you can. Thank you.